Whoa, what am I doing? I'm going to regret this one. Let me show you why. So the facing edge on the platform, forgive me, I don't know the correct terminology, this edge running all the way around, I'm going to have to hand carve the stonework into the foam. I've looked online, and the ones that you can pre-buy, like the red brick, the concrete, etc, etc, they're just not doing it for me, in all honesty. They're not giving me the definition slash detail that I'm after. So with the edge of the foam, you can see it's quite, I believe the right word would be porous. And it's a little bit rough as well, and that's obviously just from me using the blade to cut it. So I'm just going to get like just a very fine file or sanding paper or anything like that, and we're just going to give it a quick rub down. And now you can see that's given us the perfect surface to start carving brickwork. Well, annoyingly I weren't in focus for that whole time. So we're going to do another section. Starting out with a nice new blade, scalpel. Just creating random shapes, random sizes. There was a gap, sort of like that gap there, and I thought, let's fill it. What I did is I used the Tamiya, which is not foam safe, and I didn't read it beforehand, I just applied it, so that's my own fault. Luckily I realised in time, and I just managed to cut the bit out that it was melting. You can see there, it's melted it a little bit. So what I've had to do is cut out a small piece, bit like just like a wedge piece, I guess, like that, and I'm just going to have to just get some new filler. So I've got some wood filler about, that should be foam safe, but I will be double checking. But we're getting there, slowly. As you can see, most of that face is carved. We've just got that bit, that stretch, quite a long stretch, and of course the ends and the inner end as well. We're getting there, but I think that's me done for today. I'll continue tomorrow. Right, it is 2 days later, and the carving and the cocktail stick bringing out the detail is done. I've completely had enough. This has taken probably somewhere in the region of about 4 to 5 hours, but I'm definitely happy with that outcome. Now, I know what you're going to say. This is where we started. Look at the size of the stones. This is where we finished day one. Look at the size of the stones. This is where I've just finished. I'm going to be fully transparent with you. I've had enough. I was enjoying myself for about the first half of that first section, and after that I realised just how long it was going to take me. Now this brings me on to something I want to just mention quickly. Quite clearly, to do that stone in 00 scale size, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. So I'm hoping with the finished product, when it's painted and weathered and what have you, I'm hoping sort of the level of detail counteracts the fact that it's not in scale. But if you are into, you know, making your model perfectly to scale, your layout, etc., you know, complete respect to you, but I don't recommend doing it this way. It's hard work, it really is, and to do that in 00 scale as well, good luck to you. Right, I need to mix up a colour palette, get a test piece done again, and find a colour that looks suitable. We have got, these are all Vallejo colours: light brown, a brown sand, we've got an orange brown, that needs a little bit mixing, and we've got a maroon chocolate brown. So, and we've just got a dab of water as well, just cheap old brush, so it's going to get filthy while I mix paints. So we're going to start off by just bringing up some colours. What colour am I looking for? If I say Yorkshire stone, I think most of you will know what I mean. Oops. Right, so that colour is pretty close to just a normal light brown colour. So I'm going to do my test piece up here. This is the bit we've just finished where the stones are slightly larger, just because down the other end where we first originally started, I feel like I just need to define the lines a bit more. So I've watered the paint down and we're just going to use the light brown. So we need to make sure we're getting in all the cracks, because the last thing we want is to see blue foam. And don't forget, this is just a base layer, so it's sort of acting like a primer really. I thought maybe stuff to paint up more than he's doing, so that's nice to see. Obviously, think that the moss line and stuff like that, that'll be done after all painting's finished. I'm happy with the base colour, so let's keep going. I've watered it down just so it doesn't just don't cover up the details as much. If it's too thick, it does tend to fill in any little details. So let me just do a section and then we'll have a closer look at it. I think, or I hope you'll agree, that that is looking a million times better. Yes, the stones get smaller. And if I just pull the camera back, the world of difference. So it's now the following day and the base undercoat has dried. I mean, it dries in no time with it being acrylic paint. But the next step we're going to do is we're going to damage some of these. And I'll be honest, I should have done this before we painted it, but I completely forgot. And all we're going to do is we're just going to get some tweezers and pull. Simple as that, and then we'll just come back in and just touch these areas up. So let's get going. And just remember, they don't have to be all full bricks. There can be half brick damages, there can be whatever you feel is necessary. Don't even have to damage them, we can push them in a bit if we want. With it being foam, it sort of holds its position like so. We can just inset some of them, inset some corners, or inset the whole brick. And again, this just brings out some more definition and sort of depth of the stonework. So let me just go across, create some damage, We'll fill these areas in that you can see from the pulled out stones. We'll get them painted in, and then we need to pick out individual stones, not all of them. Pick out some individual stones with different shades, different colours, and give it that sort of detail, because it's never a uniform colour. Well, that's the rock face, I guess, damaged. Some have been pushed back, some have been just completely pulled out with a pair of tweezers. I've covered up the areas with the paint, so I'm going to let that dry while I go pick up my boy from school, and when I get back we're going to get 3 or 4 different shades of brown and create some detailing, I would guess it would be called. It's all going to be a bit in your face, which I understand it is at the minute. It's all a bit, you know, right up there. It's all going to be like that until the final stage, which is of course weathering. So I've mixed up 4 different colours. We've got orange brown, black brown, chocolate brown and a yellow. And we're just going to mix as we go, sort of thing. And it's just a case of painting them on. Well, in typical Wayne's Locals fashion, there's been a change of plan. That is doing my head in, that bit. As you know, I started painting off with the browns and stuff. I changed my mind. We went and added in the greys instead. So there's 3 or 4 different shades of grey, and it's worked out quite well on top of that brown coat. So I think we're on to a winner so far. This camera battery's about to die. I have to just excuse the shakes because I'm just handheld at the minute. But I think we're looking good. Hopefully you'll all agree. As mentioned though, we've got the weathering to do, but for today I'm done. It's, what day is it? It's Tuesday. I will continue on Saturday now. Well, we're now at the weathering stage, and what we're going to do, create some water streaks, things like that. So over here we've got real match frame dirt, and in this one we've got dark frost. We've also got some powders sat just to the side. We've got Industrial City, is that right? Industrial City dirt, black smoke and ashes white. And we'll utilise all of these to get the appearance that we're after. Obviously these are acrylics, like water based, because we can't use enamels because it'll just melt it. This won't be a final outcome either. We will of course, once we've fit the coping stones along the top, we will of course come back in and do some more weathering. These are just to get it going, I guess you could say. Get the effect going. Once they've dried, it will look much different, as I always say. And it's true, it always dries different. It's more the powders that I'm sort of going to get the real effects from that I'm after. But once we've applied this, it's a case of sort of letting stuff dry and then coming back to apply the powders. But with a mean acrylic and water based, it doesn't take long to dry it all. Come back in half an hour or so, they should be ready to go. Well, I think that's the stonework complete, so I'm going to end the video. The next video will be working on the surface and finishing the surface in the same video, so it'll be another long form video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.